Out with the old and in with the new. These are the Apex AutoLynx quick disconnects, a much better way to disconnect your front sway bar. I've disconnected with tools for years, and that is over. So the links themselves are very nicely packaged and very nicely machined. I'll walk you through how to disconnect your sway bars to get it ready for installation and how to install these things. And there will be chapter links in the description if you'd like to skip forward. I'm not sponsored by Apex and paid for these with my own money, but I was really impressed when I got these things out of the packaging. They are quite nice. So you'll adjust a few snap rings, and these will go in place of your sway bar end links. And then all you have to do to disconnect is turn the knob at the top 180 degrees, which can be done with one hand very easily. With these links, you can disconnect and reconnect your sway bar in the front without being on level ground, which is super awesome. They do caution against releasing this if you're flexed more than 4 inches because it will drop the vehicle and could cause some pretty serious injury while you're reaching your hand in the fender well. They make 2 lengths of these, the 8-inch and the 10.5 inch. The 8-inch is good for 0 to 2 inches of lift, and I'm a stock Sahara on Rubicon suspension, so the 0 to 2 inch version is perfect for me, and that's what I'm showing here. The Apex website is great for fitment questions, and these are good for the JK, JL, or JT. Here are the instruction cards, which not only show how to put these on, but they also show some common problems that people might encounter while putting them on. Removing your old sway bars requires 18mm wrenches, preferably one ratcheting. A shortcut would be an impact wrench with a short impact socket for 18mm, and also a 6mm Allen key to secure the stud on the upper sway bar mount. The lower sway bar bolts are reused along with the associated nut. The upper sway bar bolt is actually a 19mm from Apex. You'll also need 2 small screwdrivers to adjust the snap rings on the Apex columns. And the collar on the adjustment for the upper sway bar mount is a 1 1/4 inch bolt. This video does not take the place of the instructions that are in the box, and those should be followed to the letter. Okay, here's a 2 times sped up version of how to remove the end links. If you want to see a real-time version of this, that's the video just before this in my video list. So 18mm bolts on the bottom, 18mm bolt on a stud secured with a 6mm Allen key on the top. Hang on to the bolts and nuts from the bottom parts of these links because you will be reusing these for the Apex. The passenger side has a flag nut on the lower bolt, so you can do it with one wrench. Ratcheting wrenches for these makes it so much easier. And a stubby impact driver with a stubby impact socket makes it even easier still. Okay, so how do these fit in? These links actually have a minimum length from top to bottom bolt of 6.5 inches. The stock end link is 6 inches tall, so you'll just use the lowest setting at 6.5 inches. It'll cant your sway bar up slightly, and I'll put a measurement for that at the end of the video, but it actually doesn't cause any problems at all. So you'll move the snap rings so that the upper mount can slide down into place using 2 small screwdrivers, and I actually wrapped the cylinder with electrical tape to cut down on damage or scratches while I did this. So you'll secure the snap ring with one screwdriver and kind of pry it open with the other one. I did a bang-up job blocking your view, so sorry about that. I mangled the tape a bit when I advanced the snap ring, but when I took the tape off, the tube itself is unharmed. So if I had to do this again, I would recommend taping it. This is secured in a vise with a cloth to not scratch it, and the vise is not even attached to my top here. So they advocate for 4 drops of blue Loctite, which they supply. In the upper collar, this is the one with the 1¼ inch nut here. And once this is in place on the vehicle, they recommend torquing this down to their spec. Opposite the red cap here, you'll see a little white ball stuffed in the end of the nut on the apex mount here. Do not remove that white ball from the nut or whatever that aperture is on the left side there that my finger was on, because it will void your warranty. All right, now I just need to move the upper ring down. And again, I'm going to protect this area with a single wrap of electrical tape down the tube. And here we go again. I use 2 precision flat-bladed screwdrivers to advance the snap ring. And I'm carefully spreading the snap ring to not cause it to gouge its way down the tube. I think taping the tube was a worthwhile step, and the result was no scratches on the tube itself. Tightening that black collar will spread out that upper mount for the upper bolt so that it pushes against the upper and lower snap rings, holding it in place. We're ready to put this on the Jeep. Here's that white ball that you don't remove, otherwise you void your warranty once again. And here you go, size comparison. Apex is in the lowest setting, so there's no way to get that to 6 inches like the stock link. Not a problem. All right, so I've got the link in place here, and I'm ready to tighten these down. I could not find my ratcheting 19mm, so yeah, get one of those. Once the link's in place, you'll want to torque the upper bolt here, whatever that's called, with the 1¼ inch wrench. And Bob's your uncle, you're finished. There's quite a bit of room between the top of this knob and the fender well liner, so I don't think I'm going to have to cut mine out like they describe. I have 4 inches of travel, and I don't think I'm going to hit it. So it's an easy turn of that knob and you're disconnected. You can see there the 4 inches and how it's going to travel, but I don't think that's even going to hit. Here's a shape of the window they suggest you cut out, but I'm going to see how it does. Probably for a longer link, this would make more sense, but for my shorty boy, I don't think it's going to be a problem. Here's a before and after measurement of the angle of the sway bar, 10.4 with stock end links in place. Going to raise it up slightly with the apex, up to 15.8. I've had a chance to play with these a little bit, and man, are they slick. I really love these. I say this all the time, but I wish I would have done this sooner. I'd highly recommend this if you have a Sport or a Sahara. I'm incredibly happy with this purchase and see this saving me lots of time. Here are some real-world shots of the links disconnected on my test run. Thanks for watching, and if you need to disconnect, take a look at these. They're not the cheapest option out there, but they just might be the best.